This feels like if I put cold Age of Empires in the microwave and it was still frozen in the center after I took it out. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be my tagline for describing Age of Empires 4. So. Say nighty-night and kiss me. This is the most distracting garbage. Like, why does the setting a rally point have to fucking beam down from the watchtower?
Look like a ribbon.
What the fuck is this? Oh. I hate how cartoony this game looks. It's like it's like it has none of the style of Age of Mythology, which they probably weren't trying to replicate one-to-one, but I don't understand the cartoony direction. Did the game oh my god, everything's so loud!
So then what is this?
This is Age of Empires 4. The game that's making neckbeards in their late 20s cream their pants. And there's a lot of ambient sounds going on right now, and it's really loud. Like, there's no sound mixing in this game. Can I help you? You're like obstructing my vision in my face like that. This game is not very pretty. Like, it lacks style, it lacks polish. It's not even, it doesn't even look as good as like Age of Empires 3. If I was playing Age of Empires 3 right now, like the pieces of the building would be flying off, kind of like that, except in a better fashion. Now that can probably just be tweaked. Like they just fell under the building instead of flying off like it would have anyway. The audio is really bad. Like the soundtrack I've been hearing has been fine.
Can I hear it?
Go for it. How many people can be on a farm? Is it Age of Mythology? Or actually, no, several people could be on a farm with Age of Empires 2.
Well, the people really are really loud.
They're fucking loud,
And
dude.
there's an echo.
Yeah, the reverb is really fucking annoying. It's like Battle for Middle-earth did this back in the day, and it's so distracting. None of the buildings have hotkeys. Oh, thank God. They kept the one problem I always had with Age of Empires 2, is that lumber camps always cost wood. So if you need some fucking wood in a pinch, and you don't have a lumber camp, congratulations. Go fuck yourself. Which, you know, I don't think, because in Age of Mythology, the Egyptians are the only faction that build completely resource-dependent drop sites. Everyone else has, like, the Greeks have the storehouse, which is for wood and gold, and it costs wood, I think. But at least it's like multi-resource. So if you have a gold mine that spawns somewhere near a forest and you need to build a storehouse because you need wood in like a pinch, like you have somewhere to probably go. In Age of Empires 2, which of course this game's gonna be mostly modeled off Age of Empires 2 because that's the game that everyone's been sucking off. And you know what? I think I'd rather play Age of Empires 2. I don't even like Age of Empires 2. I think it's one of the most poorly aged games out there. Building hotkeys. Ah, it's on a grid. It's so ugly. Why are these icons so dull? There's nothing special about them. There's no character. This is like as if a robot made a strategy game. It's like if an AI built a video game. This is like what it would look like. Everything would just look too overly sleek and dull and lack any personality. And you know, I guess obviously you can argue that a ton of these unrefined details can change. Like, I guess they can change the sound mixing a little. There's like something to work with here.
I think I liked how the people looked better in the earlier Age of Mythology. In Age of Empires.
Because Age of Empires had like actual art direction. Like people, you know, like real artists. Not a bunch of hack frauds at Relic Entertainment. The same people who made that joke of a campaign in Company of Heroes 2. You know? You know, everyone's favorite. And Company of Heroes 2, where there's the campaign level in... Company of Heroes 2 takes place during World War II, and it mostly focuses... Its campaign focuses on, like, the Russian side of the war. It's really interesting. There's a fucking level where you have to enact the scorched earth policy and set buildings on fire with live civilians still inside of them, which didn't happen. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And now the scorched earth stuff, that obviously happened, but there was a lot of pre-warning for people that were going to be caught in the crossfire to evacuate. Like, people didn't just get fucking burned alive in their, like, whole families didn't just get incinerated in their households. It's just ridiculous. And you're gonna let these guys handle another historical-based strategy game? At least Company of Heroes 2 is kind of fun to play. It's a very visceral experience. It has all the things that I liked about Age of Empires 3. It has like the intense visual side of things, like the mortar blast, dirt flies everywhere. Soundtrack is really intense. It's good in that regard. Playing online is like AIDS because there's so much purchasable content in that game that I'm not gonna buy. I have no idea what these fuckers are doing. They just took a lap around my base and then left. I don't know.
The trees look nice.
They look fine, I guess. Look fine. But this game, does this game look like it came out in October of 2021, which is when it's coming out? Does this look like it came out in this fucking decade? This looks to me like it would have come out in like 2010. Age of Empires Online looks better than this. At least Age of Empires Online commits to the cartoony style. This is like somewhere in between, and it looks terrible. I really don't like its style. I don't know, bro. This kind of reminds me of like if someone hadn't played Age of Empires in maybe 20 years, and they tried to remember what Age of Empires played like, they might make this game if they had zero reference material. Ah, the game's grid. Because now instead of building things anywhere you want, you have to build them on a fucking grid. Like I'm playing a mobile game or something.
Oh, that sounds
Sounds like not fun, because part of the enjoyment of Age of Empires was the ability to kind of build anything any way you wanted, in a sense. There's a freedom in Age of Empires, and that's why I think people like it. It doesn't tell you you can't fucking do something. It's like, no, you are gonna build on this grid. You will do that. You're going to do that.
But you don't take buildings in Age of Empires.
No, because the game was 2D, but you could still build it wherever you wanted. Like, obviously, the game exists on a grid. Like, Age of Mythology exists on a grid. You can open the grid in the editor, but you don't notice it.
Yeah, it's kind of distracting.
It's like I open the grid and I'm reminded I'm playing a fucking video game. Which, you know, I am playing a video game. But there's a disconnect. It takes me right out of the experience. I mean, why am I listening to this medieval sounding soundtrack? Because it immerses you. If the soundtrack didn't matter, they wouldn't be here, but it's here. So why the fuck is there this grid here breaking my experience? These things, they add and they contribute to what you experience. And I won't have anyone tell me differently. So there were a few things in Age of Mythology that were quote-unquote grid-based, and it wasn't so much that it was grid-based, it's just that they would snap, and farms would snap. Like whenever you try to place a farm and it kind of like, you know, moves like it would be on a grid, it would snap, and that was fine because it was purely like a square plot. It wasn't even like a real building, so that was fine. I thought that was a nice feature, so I wouldn't have to constantly put my farms right up next to each other to maximize space efficiency. Things like the grid, that's not going to change. The overall way this game plays, this game's coming out next month, okay? No amount of feedback is going to change a bad game that's bad from the ground up. There's fundamental things that I strongly dislike about this game that feel like they completely go against how Age of Empires as a whole, the franchise, and plays. And it's in Age of Empires 3, which is based off of the existing Age of Mythology engine. Shit didn't fucking exist on a grid. You could build stuff next to each other and they would like snap next to each other if you wanted to build that way. But you didn't fucking have to.
I don't know, I just find that story boring.
What, you mean like the rally flag too? Or I just get this beam from God telling me where the barracks is going to send units, because just having a little flag clearly didn't work for the last like 4 Age of Empires games that did it. Wasn't good enough. And also, I would like to direct your attention to the user interface. Does anything here pop? Does anything look like anything to you? Just looks like a dark blue square. There's nothing here. It's boring. It's bland. Where's the pizzazz? Where's the atmosphere? Where's the fanfare? Where's anything? This isn't gonna change either. You could change it. In fact, if anyone mods the game, I would change this. Look at this. This is boring. All these icons, they mean nothing. Where's the art? Where's the part where someone gave a fuck about like the artistic vision of what they were creating? All these icons, they look like a machine made them, like a robot created this interface, and not like a human being that would put art or things in it. Like this little flare right here, and more of that. Now, I also don't know what the obsession is. I think, if I remember correctly, Age of Empires 3 kind of looks like this, where they try and put a bunch of information in a square in the bottom left corner. I could be wrong. I might be misremembering. I don't know what that obsession is with that in the last few years. You can just have an interface on the bottom of the screen. We are playing with modern resolutions. We can fit more text in smaller locations. It's not like I'm playing Age of Empires 3 and I have to sacrifice 40% of the screen for its shitty HUD space. If it's one thing Age of Empires 4 has improved over Age of Empires 3, is that buildings actually make unique sounds when you fucking click on them. This flare looks like an effect I would see in Halo Wars. Like, what even is this? I can't get over it. It's distracting. And maybe that's the point. They wanted to make sure that every mouth breather was completely aware of where they right-clicked on the map, because it wasn't obvious when you manually right-click somewhere where the rally flag point goes to. It was just too much for them to handle. I'm not specifically talking to anyone. I'm streaming this, so I want to get all my thoughts out. So whenever someone wants to tell me that I'm just like a circle jerking hater on Age of Empires, I can send this for relevant feedback, so I don't actually have to waste my breath talking to them. Like, I guess the environment, it looks fine, I suppose. Like, there's nothing wrong with it inherently, other than that I'm not a fan of this style. At least Age of Empires Online committed to a cartoony style. I won't say it was the best idea, but at least it looked fine. No, the terrains, I don't like the terrains. They look very bland. But the trees, the gold mine stuff, the stone mine, they look fine. They look passable. They don't look like they're in a game coming out like a first-party game, I guess. Like this is a Microsoft property. This doesn't look like something that would be coming out in 2021. This looks like it came out in like 2009. This looks like it really could have been Age of Empires 4 if Ensemble Studios kept making Age of Empires games after Microsoft fucking ripped their dick off and strangled them with it to death. But fucking hell, I think Halo Wars looks better than this. I think Halo Wars actually looks pretty good. God, I miss Ensemble Studios. I think about them before I go to bed every night. It just keeps me up thinking about what could have been. Breaks my heart. Yeah, it is true. Yeah, Ensemble Studios actually gave a shit about their games. But I had a quote-unquote discussion with some plebeian a few days ago about Age of Mythology looks bad, bro. It just looks bad. Like, why does it? Because it doesn't have fucking bump mapping and bloom support. And I'm like, who cares? Who fucking cares? The game looks fine. Like, you're all just obsessed with ultra 4K graphics. And this ain't even it, Chief. This looks looks underdeveloped. It's so half-baked. Age of Mythology is 2002. And I posted a side-by-side screenshot of Age of Empires 3 DE and Age of Mythology, and he's like, you just proved my point. The Age of Empires 3 screenshot looks better. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, it looks technically superior. But does that really mean it looks better? And I guess that's in the eye of the beholder. But the fact that this game from 2002 is able to fucking, like, keep pace with these new games, it's like it's embarrassing. Alright, I should actually, like, try and explore more. Like, fucking, the fucking water in Age of Mythology Steam version looks better than this. It's like the one thing that really does, you can say is 100% improved with the Steam version of Age of Mythology is the water. It looks really nice. Could have done with better touch up on the like refraction anti-aliasing, but it looks pretty good. Fuck, there's no hotkeys for anything, for buildings. It says 3 here, but I think that just means how many of these I have constructed. Yeah. Yeah, but fucking Age of Mythology is just it's just dead. It's just like I don't know how to describe the precarious situation. Like, Age of Mythology is like a ghost. Like, it still exists, but nobody cares. Obviously, I care, modders who mod the game care, but it's like, how does Loam have, it has like 2,300 workshop subs, but nobody fucking plays it? Like, it doesn't, I don't understand. I think it's because people install it and then they get scared and just don't actually play it. Okay, so there's no town hall button. Instead, I have to click on my villagers and hit the fucking garrison button, and that's like the town bell button. It's like the town bell button, but with extra fucking steps. Who made this? Why did they do this? Is there a town bell button? Like, did I miss something? There's a return to work button, which I presume would be... No, it doesn't turn into the town bell button like it would in Age of Mythology. Because Age of Mythology had, like, actual quality of life features. Oh, I did have it on. I thought I had it. Oh my god, this audio mixing is so loud. I can't hear you from yeah, I'm pretty sure that town bell has existed since at least Age of Empires 2. Wow, these like 5 knights just clobbered my army of spearmen. They are anti-cavalry in this game, right? Like, what the fuck? It's like I didn't even kill a single one of them. And this fucking... The UI is so unintuitive. Like, I almost get no fucking information across at a glance. Like, I get the health bar, I guess. But when you play Age of Mythology, at a glance, you get all this information. And maybe that's not fair because I recognize everything in Age of Mythology. But everything looks so boring in Age of Empires 4 that I look at it and my eyes don't glue to anything. They just gloss over and I feel like I've gotten no information out of anything. Wow, fucking amazing pathing on behalf of those spearmen. They really figured it out. Did those like 5 knights just mug my town center to death in like 30 seconds? What? I don't even think you could have done that in Age of Empires 2. If I remember correctly, Age of Empires 2 is actually kind of hard to play without siege weapons, but we took the torch throwing mechanic from Age of Empires 3. So that's... I guess you don't need siege weapons anymore. Oh, great. They brought monks. I can't wait. I can't wait to get totally like LOL Woloload. I'm sure there's plenty of siege weapons, but who needs siege weapons when you have 5 elite knights who are actually just decimating my buildings? In a strategy game, yes. Why would I build siege weapons that are slow and expensive when I can have 5 knights mug your entire civilization? Is there 5 of them? Maybe there's 6. 2, 3, I think there's 6. Sorry, 6. That's where the... That's where sorry, 5. I couldn't have gotten the job done. 6, easy mode. Wow. Incredible. Joke's on them, though. I have 1 villager alive. We can come back, bro. We can come back. As soon as I figure out where that town center button. Holy shit, everything looks... What? Destroyed landmark. That's okay. Well, that could be neat, maybe. Can't say I would do that. What if I didn't want to rebuild it? What if I just wanted to build it somewhere else? No. Age of Empires 4 has taken all control of how buildings work. They just took it out of your hands.
You can't build it.
Well, I could build it somewhere else. But, if your buildings are destroyed, or at least the town center at the very least, I can just rebuild it from where it was destroyed instead of building a new one. Which I frankly just don't understand the point of. I'm still building a new town center from the ground up, so I might as well have just placed a new plot. Because it's not a big deal, but it adds, because they've already taken control out of how I use buildings, because everything's on a fucking grid. It's like insulting. It's like they feel I'm not competent enough to place my own buildings in a way that makes sense. The control of the strategy is taken out of my hands, at least partially, and I don't like that. Age of Empires at least had freedom. It had the freedom to build things wherever or however you wanted to, and if you built it poorly, then you were gonna fuck it up.
I suppose it's kind of realistic in a way that there's like
Listen,
building casing.
the building destruction is fine. I mean, but I'm not gonna build a place from the ground. Who cares? I don't even care about that. I'm just annoyed that Age of Empires 4 doesn't think I can handle putting buildings where I want to put them. I have to build everything on a grid. And I don't know this as a hard fact yet, but I keep seeing these lines around the map, and that might just be the map border itself. I think it is. But it was giving me 0 AD vibes, and that was making me very uncomfortable because 0 AD has this territory mechanic that I fucking hate. Because it also takes control out of the player's hands. Just let the player do things. I don't know why that's such a big deal for strategy games nowadays. I keep pressing buttons on my keyboard thinking that I'm going to find an accessible hotkey like B for barracks maybe. I don't know, just a thought. My hardened spearman. I don't really know what that means. Why is my strategy game so hard? I don't understand. Why can't I just play a strategy game and it just plays it for me? Why not do that? That sounds like fun. Now there's a difference between quality of life, you know, like auto queuing farms or whatever the fucking Age of Empires 2 was, or how Age of Empires 3 also sort of dumbed down its economic factor. Like in Age of Empires 3, they removed gather sites, so you don't need to drop sites for anything, which I guess were a small part of a bigger mechanical competency test. Obviously, it makes sense to build the fucking shit close to the resource drop site, but there's a layer of depth it adds. And it just adds another building to construct. And I like building things. Alright, what the fuck is like hard anti-cavalry in this game? Because they could have picked a bold new direction, etc. They didn't have to do the weapon triangle, but it seems like that's what they're doing. Like light melee infantry, heavy melee infantry. What's the difference? What does that mean even? All I see is anti-cavalry specialists, but I had like 12 of those fucking plebeians and they just got absolutely slaughtered by a bunch of knights that they outnumbered. Like, who cares about heavy versus light armor when I have a unit that's just good against your unit type? Like heavy armor isn't a unit type, but like cavalry is a unit type, right? Like, am I making sense? I feel like I'm going insane. I hate that reverb so much. That's some Battle for Middle-earth shit. And I don't think anyone liked it back then either. Why is marching drills in the armory and not the fucking barracks? I couldn't tell you. Don't you know we go to the armory to get our drilling instructions? And this guy is... Oh no, not the... Who are these? Oh! Oh, yeah. Oh, they built mangonels. Watch these fucking 9 cross longbowmen one-shot everything. That's so stupid. There's just 9 of them. It's like in ancient mythology if I had like 9 Toxotes and they just killed everything instantly. That's so stupid. Oh my god, do mangonels even launch stones that high? That's some serious arch. No, 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 no. Oh no! What a joke. What if I do the same thing? Surrender. I can't even call it resign. When I resign from a game, I feel like less of a pussy. Yeah, that projectile arc and that fire effect was pretty laughable. Yeah, thanks. I got it. I lost. This is like when I lose a game of League of Legends. I was 2v3ing, I suppose, because I thought that it was going to be free-for-all, but when the game started, it assigned teams. So maybe that's my fault. Oh. Yeah, that is my fault. They were set to auto. I thought that would just make them all their own team unless I specifically specified. Is it like that in the previous games? Didn't think it was. I'm guessing it's 2021 and no Age of Empires game probably still has programmed King of the Hill AI. Yeah, these map icons are so boring. This is the map icon for the Dry Arabia. Why not just give me like a screenshot of what the map might look like when generated by the game? I didn't know if that was a crazy concept. Everything has to be blue. Like, it looks like I'm playing a sci-fi strategy game, maybe. It's like I'm playing, now I gotta look at my Steam library. Endless Space, that's what this looks like. This game looks like Endless Space. I guess I should try someone else to see how much the game plays differently. If they want to suck off Age of Empires 2 as much as I think they have in this game, everyone will pretty much play the fucking same. But, we'll see. Oh yeah, that's true. There's no fucking player color choice. And before I get told that Age of Mythology didn't have player color choice either. And that's true! I don't know why they got rid of that feature. I really don't. If someone can explain to me why Age of Mythology removed player color choice, I might be a little bit more satisfied in my life. Wow, I got a lot of villagers this time. Why are they yelling? Oh my god. Oh my god, and now I don't have any fucking wood for my lumber camp, so now I gotta take forever. And I already bitched about that being a problem in Age of Empires 2. Yeah, guys, I need you to stop what you're doing and go cut wood. Because lumber camps cost 50 gold and I started with like 100 wood. So if you don't immediately build a lumber camp somewhere, well, you're fucked. The thing about that doesn't bother me about starting resources in Age of Mythology is that the way everyone gathers resources is different. Like how Egyptians are the only ones who have a mandated drop site for each resource, and they don't really cost resources. Like, you won't be punished for spending your starting wood on not a lumber camp because the lumber camp doesn't cost anything. The storehouse for the Greeks, you rarely, like, you're not really punished for it because you've probably built a storehouse near a gold mine, which is probably already close enough to a forest. Atlanteans don't care, and the Norse have drop sites, which you can... They do cost wood, but it's like 30 wood. So it's already almost half the cost of this shitty lumber camp. Which I should probably build now. And then I don't remember how the Chinese... But I don't even consider them when I talk about Age of Mythology because they weren't built by ES, and they're bad and dumb and stupid and dumb. Stupid. Is there even like a terrain mesh feature? Like... So the game wants you to build on a grid, and they want you to build all your shit next to each other, right? But like, it would be neat if I built stuff on a grid next to my town center, and like the roads kind of worked around where I had built on the grid. Like, that would be interesting. Something tells me that doesn't happen though. Wow, that's the quality of life we were looking for. Oh, I really don't understand what people see in these games. Holy shit, they're so loud and they talk so much. Where's my options? Oh, fuck. Let's turn that down, like way down. Can I turn my graphics up? Oh, I don't have the HDR on. Wait. Can I not turn that on? Oh my god. Physics? Like, this game has real physics? Because all I've seen so far is when a building gets damaged, all of the mesh... Fuck off. All of the mesh just instantly falls to the world floor. Like, there's no gravity or force. Specialized pick. What a weird name. The economic wing. Yeah, actually, I think I kind of like this mechanic where you build one big building and expand on it. That's kind of neat. Can I rotate the camera? No. Is there an option for rotating camera? Like in Age of Mythology, bro. Reset camera. Huh. Oh, it's... So I alt... Oh, wow. Look at that. Why isn't it just the mouse wheel? I guess mouse wheel goes up and down. Because for some reason, people really like... Some people really like that feature. I don't know why. I don't know why every game now that they... Zoom versus rotating. I prefer to rotate, frankly. I like being able to instantly change the perspective in a way that matters. Upgrade to hardened. Yeah, he's a hard little boy now. I'm gonna make you a hardened little boy. Stable? I'll build a stable where Relic has decided I'm allowed to build a stable and not where I want to build a stable, which is not... Why does it have to be on a grid? I despise this mechanic. Just take more freedom out of my hands. I don't want to think. Just be the glowy green, it good, or glowy gold, it good, place there. Just let me place it where I want, and if it's not applicable, just don't let me build it there. It's subtle, but it's telling. Oh god, all these icons look like shit. They all look the fucking same. My brain just can't handle how bland these icons are. I look at them and I don't get any information. Technically speaking, yes, they're very informative. But they're so boring that I look at them and my brain just glosses over. Maybe you should like hire some artists. These look like placeholder icons. Leatherwork. Why not just like leatherwork? Iron undermesh. Why not just mesh? Like, it doesn't look like my units are wearing mesh to begin with, so maybe giving them just mesh would be a fine place to start. Alright, I'm trying really hard to actually play the game, but I just can't focus on it because everything feels so unintuitive. And the weird part is that Relic has been making the only people who have managed to survive making strategy games for like the last 20 fucking years. And they're giving Age of Empires, and it's like a mess. I don't even think Age of Empires is that good of a franchise. I pretty much just like Age of Mythology. It's defensive arrow slits. Aren't those called something like murder holes or something? In 2021 we still have RTS games where you can kite the AI. Oh my god, I can see them outside of the line of in the fog of war. What the is that intentional? That can't be intentional. Like, a human wouldn't do that making this type of game, right? Like, we have conventions. Fog of War, like, isn't a new thing. Why do melee units do so much fucking damage to buildings? It's like I really am playing Age of Mythology. Dude, why do all the animations look so slow? This game isn't animated very well. It's not really satisfying to watch any of the battles play out. You heard it here straight, folks. Those like 6 spearmen that were attacking my town center did about half of its health. See, there's no force. It's like the building broke, and all that happened was they just instantly fell to the floor. It's like they might as well have not even broken off in the first place. It wasn't very stimulating to watch. Alright, back to... Ah, yes. So we've decided to delete the feature Age of Mythology had where you just turn pieces of wall into a gate directly from the wall segment. Instead, we've decided to dedicate an entire fucking slot in the build tray to it. Why? I really couldn't tell you. Because I guess that's how Age of Empires did it. These guys cost wood and not gold? Why would they do that? Why would cavalry cost wood? Okay, does anything cost gold? Why does everything cost wood? I don't have that shit. Wood. I mean, I guess all the archers would cost wood. Wood and gold, mate. They're supposed to cost wood and gold. I miss the days in Age of Mythology when you were guaranteed that every human unit would cost gold, because that was part of the game's philosophy and design. Now everything, I guess now everything has to cost wood. Because I always assumed, people are like, the spearman gotta make a weapon, right? I guess it costs wood. But I'm more focused on the fact that I am paying these soldiers, so they would cost gold. And that would make sense. But I guess I'm not a game designer. Or am I? Alright, how much does this battery ramp do? Come on, hit it again. Keep going. Oh my god, 1 ram does that much damage? Okay, you know, I think I've about had enough. Alright, thanks for joining me, lads. It's been a good time. Just kidding. This has been a pretty lukewarm experience. This feels like if I put cold Age of Empires in the microwave and it was still frozen in the center after I took it out. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be my tagline for describing Age of Empires 4. So, good luck. Feel free to try the stress test yourself.